Before I get into the topic at hand, I wanted to welcome anyone new to the channel. On this channel I mainly write about games I've been playing and how the gaming industry is going. I cover various gaming genres, so if you like games, I've probably made one that you would like. Now onto the video. Now over the past year, I've increasingly noticed more of what I like to do with my free time. I seem to be trying out new hobbies all the time to find ones that stick. And if you haven't noticed, my channel name is a signal that I love my free time. Well, this past year I have gotten into firearms as a hobby, and I wanted to talk about why that is. I consider myself a gamer. I also consider myself to be involved in many things, so I consider myself to be a techie, a movie fan, and a firearm enthusiast. It seems pretty easy to hop into things like tech when you're into gaming because of the hardware you need to game. It's also not a hard leap to get into movies either, since games are a semi-new medium of storytelling. But firearms, well, I can tell you that it's not that hard of a leap either, especially if you live in the US. My interest in firearms probably started a long time ago, and mainly not from video games. Being from Utah and growing up with the culture of the Mountain West, it's not a weird thing to go out with some buddies into the desert or by the side of the mountain and see who can shoot best. If you come from a rural or even a suburb area, I'm sure you could agree. It's so normal that at my bachelor party we pulled out all the shotguns we could find and had a great time blasting away at trash and clay pigeons. Now, putting all that past aside, I had never really thought about actually buying my own gun until I got married. For obvious reasons, once you get married, there's a new sense of never letting harm come to your wife or yourself in your home, but nowadays increasingly in public areas. Other than getting married, I began to really get into Battlefield 4 during my first year of marriage. And boy, can you try out and customize the guns in Battlefield 4 like crazy. Not only customize in Battlefield 4, but Battlefield 4 had the largest weapon selection I've ever seen in a multiplayer game. So many that there have been videos made asking if there are too many guns in the game. For me, I think every modern shooting game should have a large choice of weapons, because that's how it is in real life. It's a fun experience to play a game with a gun that you actually own. Now, due to most firearms in real life costing a chunk of your paycheck, a person can't just have an armory full of guns unless they're dedicated to it and they're doing pretty well with those paychecks in the first place. It's an investment whether you think it is or not, because in general, firearms don't lose value unless you run it through the ringer like you're supposed to. So, I feel like I can say that video games have had an effect on my interest of firearms, and now my firearms have had aided in my interest of shooting games. One handgun and a rifle later, I think that my gaming experience has deepened. Now, I will get to the point that I've been wanting to make. Firearms and video games are very similar to each other. As people, we buy a piece of hardware that allows us to have an experience. After time, we get the feeling of finding similar-minded people who also enjoy that experience as well. Before we know it, we're part of a community. Just like gaming has done for me, firearms has provided a very positive environment for me, whether it's at the shooting range or just chatting with a friend about what kind of build they're working on for their AR-15. Now that I've gotten all this personal, biased stuff out of the way of why I actually like guns and video games and stuff, it's time to do a quick rundown of some of the most iconic real-life guns from first-person shooter games that you can find in the market today. M9, 1911, Desert Eagle, G18, or any other Glock variant, CZ75, FN45, 44 Magnum, MP5, Chris Vector, CZ Scorpion, Remington 870, KSG, M4, M16, MTAR or the Tevor, AK-47, FAL, SCAR, and the Barrett 50 cal. Whew. This is a very small list, honestly, compared to what it should be. Of course, I missed some, but these are ones that you can see amongst firearm enthusiasts or at the range. And now that I've gotten into the end of the video, I wanted to ask if video games ever aided in your interest for guns. And have you ever liked a gun so much in a game that you bought it in real life? Thanks for checking out this video, and as I always say sometimes, go enjoy your free time.